Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Oh, so we've actually got some good news in this video, haven't we? We've got some good news, some cold justice, somebody finally caught over something they did 9 years ago. This Putney Pusher. The Putney Pusher. So nice to report some good news. Now, I say they've been arrested. They haven't been charged yet, but they've been arrested twice for two different things. There's a lot of information coming out about them. Of course, not their name because, that's prejudicial, isn't it, to any case that might eventually be brought against them. But it is good news. It is good news. But everyone's in, as we always have to remember, innocent till proven guilty. This person has not even been charged yet. So we'll remember that, but we're still going to talk about it because, it's just such good news. I mean, this was a terrible thing that happened 9 years ago in London. Literally random pushing a woman under the path of now. I think there's an argument that maybe he didn't know a bus was coming, maybe he wasn't intentionally intending to kill her. But it's only by the heroic sort of actions of the bus driver or the quick reactions of the bus driver, who you hardly ever see mentioned anywhere, but we're going to talk about him, that this woman miraculously did not die. Her head was sort of centimetres from the bus's wheels. And, it's terrifying that you could just be walking along the road. Um, whether she was walking in the jogger's path or not, some people sort of were saying, oh, well, she was walking on the jogger's path and not on the pavement. Oh, let's push her in the path of a bus then, murder her, because that is that sort of offence, deserves that, isn't it? Honestly, some people, just the things they say, anyway, we're going to look at a lot of information about this case. So this person who's been arrested, he's a millionaire. He's a banker. We could change the letter of that word, could we? A millionaire. The first letter, maybe there'd be a more appropriate word that rhymes with banker. Next, army officer. Not an immigrant, funnily enough. Also, connections to the royal family, apparently. Oh my God, these people, these monsters, they come from all walks of life, don't they? It's just positive. He's also been arrested for charges now as well. Oh, Kel Suppressor. I could do a Del Boy there. Oh, K Suppressor, that's Spanish, but what did Del Boy say? I can't even remember, but oh, what a surprise. Drugs charges as well. Strange, isn't it? These respectable bankers with connections to the royal family, ex-British Army officer. I think he's in his 40s. So when this happened, he would have been in his early 30s. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to do a little bit of waffle. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, which I haven't been doing that much of lately. Obviously I've been covering the Preston Davey case. It just didn't seem appropriate. Tomorrow is sentencing in that case, so tomorrow we'll be all I'm talking today. I feel like after his birthday yesterday, and that it's almost like there's a day of peace for him today. I mean, as far as the media is concerned, this is all over the media, the story and all those disagreeable, horrible details. After tomorrow, I won't be mentioning the monster dads' names again. They're going into the hellhole once they've been sentenced. Tomorrow, I will talk. It'll be all things Preston. It'll be talking about the sentencing, but about the vigil that happened last night for his 4th birthday, or what would have been his 4th birthday. But not in this video. We're not going to talk about Preston. But a lot of the thanks that I give you are concerned with the Preston David case. And so much, all of you that's with through that case. It was disagreeable, unpalatable details that could few videos, of course. We've seen a few videos. And they're enough, aren't they? So the jury saw everything. So don't know how they're coping, don't know how Preston's family's coping. It's horrible. So thank you. I want everyone who stuck with me through that, who cared about Preston, who lit a candle for him yesterday, who, you know, just even a private thought about him, a prayer for him, just all that sort of send that energy towards Preston. Preston is loved. And I hope wherever he is, he knows that, he can feel that, because of it. He wasn't loved in the last 4 months of his life by those horrible men. So thank you so much for that. But not only that case, all the other cases, for being with me for so long. Those of you that have been with me, you know, since I first started my YouTube channel, thank you. Thank you for all your likes. Thank you for your those of you who've subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. It's completely free. Leave that DNA on that subscribe button and like button and share button. Don't forget notifications. And if you actually, or you might not, you know, you never know YouTube. What else? So thank you, special thank you to my members as always. Special thank you to those of you who sent Ko-fis. You know, just recently, Pauline, Sarah, Sean, so many sent Ko-fis. I don't want to name people because I don't want to leave anybody out. But if you visit my Ko-fi, see all the Ko-fi donations are transparent there. Also, on my Ko-fi page, of course, is my merchandise. Get wine glasses to drink the Vicky Marie Chats White Grand Reserve wine out of, which you can also order on there. T-shirts, mugs, etc. Merchandise. Where is my mug? Oh, I've got my mug today. I'm on the Coca-Cola. I could have put it in one of my glasses though, couldn't I? Got glasses engraved. I can make any message. You can have photo or not a photo, just a message, any message you want. And it's all there on my Ko-fi page in the Ko-fi shop. And there will be necklaces coming. I just haven't got around to that yet. It's all a matter of time. But listen, thank you to all of you that have bought merchandise, either on the Ko-fi page, or you can always send me an email if you don't want to do it publicly on there. You can send me an email. I don't know if I've put my WhatsApp on there. You know, there are lots of different ways you can order merchandise. Yeah. Thank you for all your emails. Thank you for all your love messages. Even you trolls, I haven't thanked, but even thank you to you, because every comment you make, whether it's nice or not, it helps towards the algorithm. So even the trolls help your channel, really. Not that I get many trolls, to be honest. Very few. Very lucky, very blessed. I feel today feel like a good day. It's like, I hope so. You know, you're always just waiting for the next sort of disaster to happen. But, you know, life's hard, isn't it? Life's hard. There's always something going on. There's lots of problems that a lot of my chatters have had, like personal problems recently. People send me emails and let me know what's happening in their lives. You know, financial issues, health issues. Oh, you name it. There's so many things can go wrong in this crazy life that we're, you know, in. But there's also lots of beautiful things in this life as well. So we have to cherish Every little moment, don't we? Every good moment. Not every day is a good day, but every day has something good in it, even if it's just, the peace and tranquility of getting up and having your coffee in the morning. Some people don't have that, so there's always to be grateful of. Give your dog a hug, give your cat a hug, give your husband a hug, give your wife, or whoever, give the postman a hug. You just, all little things that can make us feel good, as well as things can make us feel bad. We have to try and look at the positive, don't we? Because we don't have any other choice. It's like you're never going to get out of life alive, that's for sure. So you just have to make the most of every moment. And we're lucky to have life. Poor little got a probably only months of happy life. We're lucky. It's funny happiness, isn't it? Because I don't think you can't be happy sort of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. There'll always be challenges. But you do get bursts of happiness. It can be a little things, moments, and enjoy them. As you know, I'm hoping that started vain when the stupid one has declared war on Iran. My insecurity, anxiety went through the roof, apart from the crime cases and the Nancy Guthrie case, another still is because it's not solved, another difficult case. The vulnerability of life. So vulnerable. We're all vulnerable one way or another, aren't we? Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. That's not like me, is it? So, just to let you know, if you're watching this and thinking, oh God, when's she going to get on with it? Well, you might be better off waiting for the edited version, because I do waffle in live streams. But later we'll edit all the waffle out, and put it up as a video, and as a video without the waffle. So if you're not a waffle person, you'd probably be better off waiting for that. What else did I want to talk about before I get going? Was something else, and it's gone. It's gone. Oh yeah, if you know, you've not been watching me for very long, I am also in my other life a Spanish teacher. I teach Spanish and English, but mainly Spanish. I've written books on learning Spanish. They're all available on Amazon. They're called Break the Language Barrier, Vicky Marie Riley. 5 levels from beginner to advanced. So if you want to learn Spanish, why not check those out? I've been teaching Spanish for over 20 years here in Spain, which is where I'm based. The most simplistic approach. I don't know if I've got a photo of mine, but I will need to do a video again about my books. But anyway, so it's Break the Language Barrier, Vicky Marie Riley, levels 1 to 5, all available on wherever you are in the crazy world. Any Amazon site you can buy my book. The other book you can buy, I may have a picture of this up there. No, I'm not very organised, am I? Because I'm not very good at the sort of promotion side of things. I've got to get going with that. Is Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, also on any Amazon site, which is like a sort of an autobiography, really, sort of explaining about how I ended up, from when I was born in Manchester in the UK on the council estate, some trials and tribulations, and then how I ended up living in Spain, why I'm interested in true crime. Just a sort of, it's part 1. I've got part 2 that will be coming out, but I'm not sure when. But anyway, so part 1, if you want to know more about me, people say it's easy reading, it's entertaining, it's supposed to make you laugh, make you cry. and make you think, really. But it's all true. It's all absolutely true. It literally is just what the truth of my life. So that's called Confessions of a Spanish Teacher. And that, again, Vicky Marie Riley is available on any Amazon site, anywhere in the world. Oh, and I just want to say about my merchandise, that is all the merchandise that's on the Ko-fi page. It's all inclusive of postage and packing. And it can be delivered all over the world. So wherever you are, I can get that to you. If you've got any enquiries about it before you order or whatever, you can contact me on my email, which I think I'm going to put in the chat. Then I should put in. You can always contact me about anything on my email, Vicky Marie Chat at Vicky Marie Chats at gmail.com. And remember, it's Vicky with an I. Quite often people spell it with a Y, and then it's the wrong email, but it's an I. So I think that's it for that. So hello, you lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Hello to Replay Crew. Thank you for watching. All and being, following through all the cases since, I've been struggling with this computer, and I know sometimes the videos aren't easy to watch because the sound goes in and out and things. Anyway, as you know, I feel an ongoing saga. It's just there's no point buying a cheap one again because I've got working on a cheap laptop that it's not very good. So I'm trying to buy a better one this time, but it just takes some time to get money together, especially after it's been a difficult year. But you know what? Money is one thing, and sorry about the sound quality sometimes. There's just nothing I can do about it at the time. Thank you to those who stuck with me through that. But right, let's take the banner off, and I'm going to come in and say, let's see who's in the chat. Yeah, so I know, like, the lovely lurkers, of course, are those of you who like to watch but don't like to chat. Not everybody's brave enough to go in the chat, and it's not even brave. Some people don't want to chat. I watch lots of YouTube channels and I don't join in the chat. I like read that sometimes, but then there's some of you enjoy the chat, and so thank you. So that's who I'm going to say to now. So hi, David. Yeah, you can just catch this, but yeah, like you say, justice sometimes, it does take time, but I hope it happens. I hope he gets charged. We've got to remember that. Hi, Lily. Hi, Kelly. Still can't get your emojis. I honestly, sorry, I just don't know. Don't your sons make it? You've got sons, aren't you? Know more about technology, didn't you? Don't they? Yeah. I think I agree with that, David. I wonder if it's taken time. Now, I did a video about this case, the Putney Pusher. I'm going to show the video. It was a short video. I think it was last year sometime, just because it was an unsolved case at the time. And it makes you really sick because the way he pushed this woman, I mean, you'll notice he pushes the woman over when you can see him pushing the woman, but there's a man walks past as well. He doesn't go anywhere near him. He's obviously angry with women at the time, and that's what's so scary about it, because it's so random. It could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been you. It could have been your daughter. This was pushed over just because she was a woman. And women are so vulnerable, aren't they? I've noticed that, that horrible experience that with the guy followed me as I overtook him, opened my car door. He wouldn't have done that if I was a man. You know, the people pick on people that they think are more vulnerable than them. Children, women, old people, sort of mixture of person and a woman. You know, and they thought, oh, no, and people say things, especially men, or because they think you won't argue back, or they think you'll be an easy victim. It's horrible. And I think this woman was pushed because she was a woman. It's gender violence. You know, why didn't you push the man over? Why did the man who walked past him didn't push him over? Just push the woman over. And she could have died. You know, this man, he is lucky that he's not facing a murder charge, because she was inches. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about when I get into it properly. The bus driver, whose quick reactions saved one's life. Literally, her head within centimetres of the bus wheel, and that would have been it. Game over. That bus had gone over her head. She'd be dead. The bus driver would be traumatised. All the passengers would be traumatised. And this twonk is just carrying on his morning jog. The millionaire banker, ex-British officer, British Services officer, connections to the royal family. I'm not surprised by all that. Anyway, he deliberately pushed that woman into the traffic, most definitely. Oh, Sarah, that's very kind. Thank you. Sarah's just ordered my book. Well, people tell me it's an interesting read. I hope so. I mean, it's interesting for me, of course. It's funny because every now and again I do read it, because there are things you forget about your life, aren't there? I think everyone's got a book in them, and, you know, it's difficult to write a book. I mean, I've written quite a few books, and they don't, the way I've written books is like with that Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, I actually started off as a blog. So I was writing a blog. So then when I had so many different blogs, you know, I thought, oh, I could put this into a book. But I think it's quite difficult to sit down from scratch and write a book. In a way, that's the same with my Spanish books. You know, over 20 years of teaching Spanish, I started off like writing, you know, worksheets for people of the day, I put them into a manual, and then I thought, oh, I can put these into a book and put them online. So, you know, it's difficult to sit down and write a book just like that. But yeah, blogs are a good way to start. And then when you've got enough material together, put them together, you just got them out, tidy them up, rather than sitting down and writing a book like from scratch. It's hard, you know. All credit to writers. They deserve a bestseller, because, of course, you don't earn, you know, people think you earn a fortune from books. You don't. You earn maybe a couple of euros a book, if that. But because at Amazon, my books are self-published on Amazon and take most of the money, but then you wouldn't have the publish them if it wasn't for Amazon. It's YouTube. You know, YouTube take off, don't they? People think YouTubers are rich. People think they're rich. They're not. Unless you're a massive YouTuber or you're a multi-million seller. You know, some writers are, you know, if you're you've got loads of people, but if you're just like, you know, a writer, maybe sold, I don't know how many books, maybe 1,000, you know, not millions, do you know what I mean? So that's over years, you know, so it's not, you know, unless you can get or get, you know, not all writers aren't rich, as all YouTubers aren't rich. You earn a little bit of money from it, you know. It's a wage, just like anything else. I mean, doing YouTube, to me, it's a hobby where I get paid a little bit. You know, it's like, it's not I'd love to be able to do it full time, but I just can't at the moment, because it's not enough. You know, it's not a living wage. But it works out quite well with my Spanish classes, you know, so the two together gives me a living wage, I suppose. But the same with writers. You know, there's only really a few writers that reach that status. I want to tell it right. So talk about waffle now. I'm going to just give a bit of waffle now. Oh, and Sarah, thank you for the Kofi as well. Thank you so much. Uh, I just want to give you a little bit of waffle. Years ago, just before I put Spanish books on the internet, you know, and I upload them on Amazon or maybe just so you're looking at over 10 years ago. I had a medium come to the house, to my house, and there was a few of us had sitting with her, you know. And I can't remember her name. I wish I could remember her name because I'd like to say to her now, you were right. Something told me. And I was like, so she sat there and she was saying to me, she said, oh, she said, finances. She said, there's something. Well, how did she describe it? She said, it's not like loads of money. She said, but it's like little drips of money. She described it like woods. You know, I don't know if I've got a tape anywhere of it. I should have taped it, but and she was saying that she had always something like these little bits of money, just small amounts rolling in. She said, rolling in, and it doesn't. It's not a lot in it. I'm like, I feel sorry for you because I'm going, oh no, I know what you're talking about. You know, I believe in mediums. I believe they're genuine mediums and spiritualists. I'm always very skeptical, you know, not giving away information. And I thought, what's she talking about? I thought, what load of rubbish. And of course, then I realised years later, these are my books because, yeah, it might only be 10, 15 euros, 20 euros a month or something. Some months are better than others. Some months you do sell more books than others. Some months you don't sell any books. So I'm not, you know, it's not, but it is like a trickle of money. And I thought, oh God, that's what she's referring to. Makes perfect sense, but I didn't know what she was talking about at the time. It didn't click, you know. So that's happened to me a few times with mediums that I've been seeing. I thought, oh, what they're talking about. And then afterwards, I thought, oh my God, that's what they're talking about, you know. I used to run a women's group called Women of Fire. And see a medium. He was a very good medium, actually. I think he'd been seeing him a few times. And, well, I mean, he was only in a bar, you know, and we were just having an informal. I think he even charged for it. He was just, you know, doing these example sittings. And he's talking to me and he said, oh, I can see fire all around you. And I just really got going with this women's group at the time, Women of Fire. But I didn't click and I'm going, fire? Oh, no idea what you're talking about. And he's going, yeah, I can just see you bathed in fire. He said, fire all around you. And Lee, a friend who was with me at the time, who very sadly, she's passed now, bless her. She turned around and said, it's Women of Fire. Because she was part of this women's group as well. And I went, oh yeah, sorry, you know, because I've been doing it. I think kids have to deal with that all the time. But you know, messages like somebody doesn't come to them and say, oh, she's in a women's group called Women of Fire. They get these insights and he's seen me sort of bathed in fire. And I'm going, no idea what you're talking about. Because I'm thinking, is he talking about a fire? You know, that I've been involved in a fire or somebody I know's been, and I'm like, no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, I haven't been seeing medium for a long time. I must think about that again. You know, if you find a good one, you know, it's hard to find a good. I think I might be able to find him again. So I'm waffling. So let's see now. Flashing. I'm going to show you the video that I made. It was an unsolved video. I don't do many unsolved videos. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? 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 because personally I don't like unsolved. But when was this video? Yeah, a year ago it says. A year ago. It must have been on the news or something, and they decided I decided to make a video. It's only a short video. At least I don't have to worry about copyright because it's my own video. You can see that it must have been freezing cold when I did this video because I've got a great big jumper on. Bit different from now where it's a lovely 26 degrees. Weather's very nice. So I'm going to put this video on. I'm going to watch this video that I did.
Caught. Never ever caught. So this happened in Putney, on Putney Bridge in London, in the UK. And this was a man jogging along the bridge, and unsuspecting people coming to attack a woman. This jogger just literally pushed her into the path of an oncoming bus. And it's only because of the quick actions of the bus driver that this woman survived. And the more times I look at this video, the more time you can see how close her head was. Let's have a look at the incident. So as I say, this was Putney Bridge in London in the UK. Incident. So as I say, this was Putney Bridge in
London. We are in Turkey.
This is our journey.
This is where the story of humanity arose.
We have so many stories to tell.
So this is a video I showed many. It's been released. It was released by the police at the time. I think it'd be as easy as anything. Really, that's very clear picture, isn't it? So there he was. He's running down the side of the road. Oh, and he literally just pushes that poor woman into the path of the oncoming bus. And the bus driver really...
Sorry, yeah, just so why didn't he push him into the road? You know, I probably did he. So this is definitely a case of gender violence. He let him walk past, but then he pushes the woman. Oh, there you go.
Here he goes. Pushes her over.
Look how close.
Look how close her head is to the wheels on that bus. And
so you see how the bus driver managed to. We're gonna have a look at the bus driver in a minute. He's a hero. He's hardly ever mentioned. You know, I wonder why. You'll see when you see him why he's never mentioned. So the person who's committed this terrible act, he's the ex-British, or allegedly the British ex-officer and the one with connections to the royal family, millionaire banker. The bus driver is obviously, at some point was an immigrant. So he's, what? It's like, when will people wake up to this? That it's like, even with the Preston Davy case, the reason why it's not been so much over the media as it should have been is because those dads are British. You know, in Britain now, the cases that get the most attention, they're always the cases that involve immigrants, because people know that, the media knows that people will jump on it. Anyway, he's pushed this. If it wasn't for this bus driver, that woman would be dead. That bus would have gone right over her head. Now, all right, maybe he didn't see the bus coming, maybe didn't mean to push her literally push her under a bus. But he knew he was pushing her not in the jogging lane or whatever. I mean, what the fuck? He doesn't own London. How dare he? How dare he push that woman out the way? Now, maybe he'd had an argument with his wife that morning. Maybe he was just hating women. Maybe his wife was divorcing him. Maybe someone had just split up from him. But is that what you do? Take it out on every other person just because a woman's pissed you off? You're going to take it out on every other woman? What a horrible man.
To the quick reactions of the bus driver. Let's watch it again. Thanks to the quick reactions of the bus driver, that woman was not killed. Oh, just literally, that bus driver saved that woman's life. Now, this happened in 2017. Yeah, notice he didn't push that big bloke off.
No, didn't push the big man over.
That is
gender
violence.
Awful. It makes it especially awful because it'd be awful if he pushed the man off. But he's picked on the weaker person. And he's done that deliberately, hasn't he? So just looking at what you're saying there, Sarah, that's interesting. Yes, I am a Leo, Sarah, and you saying you're a Sagittarius. Of course, Leo Sagittarians, they get on well, don't they? Because their signs have what's the word? A lot of my friends over the years have been Sagittarians, funny, because we understand each other, don't we? Like things, horoscope wise, if you believe in that kind of thing, which I do. Yeah, and what did you say? Your children are Leo and Aries, yeah. So yeah, fireworks, but you know what? But still, they're all good because Aries, they're all. How can I put it? My son is a Virgo, and that's hard work. Leo's and Virgo, so it's just. He doesn't understand it, I don't understand him. But over the years, I'm thinking of friends that I've had quite often in Sagittarians, partners. I had a boyfriend for a long time who was Sagittarian. Can't sound that well, honest, but not bad. He's probably one of the. I never get on with any partners because I'm just difficult. I've had Leo partner. Anytime I've ever been out with it doesn't at all. I mean, horoscopes. So we're blabbing on about horoscopes now. But yeah, I think one day I'll do it. I haven't done anything about horoscopes in the men's life. Maybe I'll do that again this week. Not this week, sorry, it's next week, isn't it? Next Thursday. Maybe we'll do some horoscopes, see who's typical. Thing is, horoscopes are more complicated than you imagine. I'm a Leo, but I have a Cancer ascendant. Maybe that's why I get on quite well with Cancer people. Maybe it's so it waters down my Leo-ness a little bit. So, yeah, there's a lot to look into with horoscopes, isn't there? Anyway, did I say hello to Lily? I think I did. I think I did say hello to Lily. Oh, Lily's a Virgo. Now I get her on okay with friends as Virgos. But, there's different kinds of Virgos, of course, as well. Thing is, it's so complex. Maybe I just don't get on with my son because I won't say we don't get on. We get on really well sometimes, but there are times I've had to learn that my Leo-ness, Leo's I don't do it. I think Leos worry about everything, don't they? Everything. And I worry up to a point, but I get to a point where I just think, not going to worry about that anymore. But I do find with my son, he does worry, and I've had to learn that to not take it lightly, because I don't understand why he worries sometimes about things that I wouldn't worry about. But so, you know, anyone that you live with, your child, be it your partner, be it your family, parents, well, it's hard living with someone, because not every, you know, feels the same as you about things. And even if, as we've talked about before, sometimes you can agree with someone in 9 things out of 10, but one that just can't reach agreement on. And so learning to accept that that person will always think what you think, that's difficult with your kids, especially because as parents, we do bring our kids and we think they'll agree with us with everything, they'll take the same views as us. And although my son, he does take a lot of the same views as me, but there are some different generations as well. So there are some things that we're polar opposites out, you know, not only because of our star sign, but just because of the fact of the difference in ages. And you know, he's grown up in an era of the internet era, which I've been through the era where we didn't have any internet or anything. So I sort of had both periods, if you like. And yeah, you know, so there's many reasons why your children just, you think they're going to end up thinking the same as you, but sometimes just go complete opposite than you. They might, you know, even just things like they might vote differently to you, you know, or you try and bring them up as a Manchester City fan and they end up being a Manchester United fan, which is what happened to me with my son. You know, it's like, what? You know, so it's complex, isn't it? People are complex. So horoscopes are too simplistic. I'm not saying you have to judge someone by their horoscope, but there are some traits that people do have, I think, anyway. But yeah, I've had quite a lot of female friends have been okay that are Virgos, but men it just doesn't work out in. Yeah, I know I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm waffling like my dear. Sorry about that. Oh dear me, it doesn't take much. Well, do you know what? To be honest, it's quite. I know this sounds awful, but you know, it's been so grim lately, hasn't it? About it, even though it's been important, of course, and we so Monday, you know, came relief, isn't it, with those guilty verdicts. And although, of course, this case is serious, but at least nobody died, so it's quite nice to talk about a case without grievous that was involved with talking about Preston's case. You know, it really hurt the soul, didn't it? I hope you're okay as well, all of you that were invested in Preston's, in the trial. And it is a relief to have those guilty verdicts, even though it doesn't bring that little boy back. It's a relief to know that they're not sort of still out there doing it maybe to other children or whatever. So yeah, so that's why I'm waffling. But as I say, I will be editing out all the waffle to put the actual video out. Oh. Sarah said sons or their mum. Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to push and shove, yeah, I agree with you. I think they do. They do. But you know, they're not to live with Sarah. They've got to live with just, you know, at the end of the day, he's a grown man now. And so, it's, you know, I am a very, how can I put it? I am quite a solitary person in lots of ways. And I like company, but I like it when I want it. And so it's over the weekend he went out and he stayed over at a friend's. It was so nice. It was so peaceful in the house, and you know, not a load of cooking going on and this, that, and the other. And to go and pick him up or take him to work, and was nice. But yeah, I would miss him if he wasn't here, probably. Be nice if he just lived around the corner, wouldn't it? Not here in my house, but just not too far away. I wouldn't want him to be living over here. You know, a lot of people, of course, their adult children go off to live in Australia or, you know, Thailand or whatever. I'm glad that he's not far away. I am glad. Anyway, right, I am definitely going to stop waffling now. Yeah, we're really looking forward, aren't we, to the verdict? Sorry, the sentencing. Can't wait. Can't wait. Someone's saying hello to Musli. Hello, Musli. You never get on with Taurus, but I tend to family member Taurus, and I hope if I ever did meet, we would. I mean, everybody's different, aren't they? You can meet 5 Virgos or 5 Leos or 5 Taurus. They won't all be exactly the same, you know. So we're all individuals, you know. So I just think they're a trait, you know, and they're in many ways. I am a typical Leo, but as I say, because of having the ascendant, Cancer ascendant, I do think I'm not got the full blown Leo, you know, but there are signs of being a Leo I've got. Right, okay, I'm going to stop waffling, I promise. What I want to look at now is the bus driver. So before we let anything else, I want the bus driver who saved that woman's life. Of course, the woman named, she won't be named until it comes to the court case, if it comes to a court case. So don't forget, this guy has not actually been charged yet. But let's look of the bus driver. Yeah, very rare. But do you know anything about the bus driver? Probably a lot of people know about the Putney Pusher. This is the guy who was driving. His name is Oliver. Yeah, don't see much about him on the news, do you? Let me read something out about him. So his name is Oliver Salbris. Let's see if I can find an article about him. Oh, so this was an article in the Metro, September 2017. Hero bus driver explains why he thinks Putney Pusher into his path. Only the bus driver's quick thinking that averted this as he moved his bus just in time to avoid hitting the victim's head. It was her head as well. She would have died, wouldn't she? And he said on, I can't show the video because it's Good Morning Britain. They always pull you up for copyright. Mr. Salbris said he had not been contacted by the woman, but added that she would be dealing with the incident in her own way. happening. Anyway, so this bus driver said, Oliver said, if she had died, I would have had to live with a weight on my shoulders for the rest of my life. You know, that, you can imagine. A few, and he had three suicides. You know, 3 people jumped in front of his train at different points, not 3 together, but he would be driving his train and 3 times people committed suicide by jumping in front of his train. And of course he can't do it, you can't do anything about it. And what he said was their eyes were empty. He could see their face, you know, they'd jump in front of him and they would be looking at him. And the eyes, he said, it was like there was nothing there. They were just blank. And he had to live with that, you know. So he's, luckily, guy move out the way. Luckily for the woman. Luckily for the did it, because he'd be looking at a murder charge, wouldn't he? He'd be at murder charge. So this driver, he did deserve all the commendations, didn't he, that he got, really. So let's just go back to reading that. I think I might have finished it, actually. Yeah. So that's the bus driver, Oliver. You know, he's not talked about more. Wonder if it's because he's not British. Well, say he's not British. He is British, obviously, but you know, it's funny. This man needs to be caught so he can explain he's been arrested. What they did true. If this guy wouldn't have reacted, we'd now be looking at a murder charge. The woman would be dead, probably. You know, if a bus goes over your head, you're not likely to survive it, are you? And if you did survive it, you would have terrible brain injuries, I would imagine. So well done, Oliver. Well done. Thank you for saving that woman's life. And as I say, you know, the guy who actually did it, he wants to be grateful as well. That this, because he'd be looking at a murder charge otherwise, wouldn't he? I'm going to put this picture back up. So at the time when I did the video about it, I said, I can't believe nobody knows who this guy is. Because it's a very clear picture, isn't it, really? You know, we don't know who he is. But if that was my son or any man that I know well, I would look at that video. I would know it was him. I would know 100% it was him. Somebody knew who he was, because this was all over the news. It's been all over. It's been worldwide news. You know, it's such a random act, you know. So somebody knew who this person was. But now, of course, it turns out he's a millionaire black banker. He's an ex-British Army officer, and he's got connections to the royal family. So, you know, why did nobody come forward and say who he was? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know, it's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it, in this world? Strange. Anyway, sorry, I'm just putting down. And then say in the chat there. So, okay, in the chat. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm just going to take that message off. I know you won't mind because I don't mention other YouTube channels on my channel because it causes problems. It can cause problems. That's all. But that's just a thing about my channel. Sorry. So I have taken that comment off, just so you know. Okay. So let's have a look. Let me read you what's happened. What was the news? So he was arrested, first of all, on the charge. I think it is GBH that he's been arrested for. And then he was bailed, I suppose. I mean, he wouldn't have a problem making bail, would he, if he's a millionaire? So an unnamed arrested, 9 under a bus, and now infamous case. The suspect was 33 when that happened. He was arrested at his home in West London on suspicion of attempted grievous bodily harm and released on bail. Now he's been rearrested, having Class A and Class B drugs. That's likely he's bound, isn't it? He's bound to have that this guy wouldn't have been recognised. But it makes you wonder, as he fell out with somebody who's now come forward and put in relation to all offences, and then pushing other women under buses. We don't know. Has he done anything since the domestic? It's an unusual thing to do, isn't it? If you've got no history of aggression or violence, if you've got no history of aggression or violence, you wouldn't just do that. That's a big thing to do, isn't it? To push someone into the road. Who would do that? Someone you don't even know. It's not as if they'd had an argument and, he just lost his temper. He's literally jogging down the road, probably angry about something that's happened in his own life. And he's ignored the big guy who walked past because he didn't want to push him into the road because he might hit him back, mightn't he? They didn't want to do that, but he saw the woman and he thought, oh yeah, she'll do. Take out my vengeance on, something that we don't even know about. Terrible. It just seems even worse that it's a random. If someone does something in a fit of rage or passion, crime of passion, we all get angry with people, don't we, in our lives? For whatever reason, people can hurt us. Though I still think even then I wouldn't do this, push someone. I'm not saying I wouldn't get angry with someone. Of course I would. I'm a human being. But to push someone into the road, I think, is a bit special, don't you? It's a big thing to do, isn't it? Most of us, we have that cut off button in our head. We may have dark thoughts. I think we all have dark thoughts sometimes, don't we? It'd be unusual not to have any dark thoughts. But we have this there's almost like an interruptor. I'm thinking in Spanish there. What do you call it? An interrupter switch in our brains. So, when we think about doing something bad, this switch comes on and says, no, it's wrong. Most of us wouldn't do it, even if we were angry, But he wasn't angry with this woman. He didn't even know her. He didn't even speak to her. He was angry with somebody else about something else. Or just maybe he's generally angry, I don't know. But he took it out on a stranger. I think that's quite unusual. I think that's quite unusual, isn't it? I'm not saying, it obviously has happened. You're mentioning a case there, mostly that I actually don't know about. But yeah, things can happen. But I would never. I mean, listen, I get angry with strangers. It's mainly road rage. I just sat in my car swearing at them quietly. I don't get out of the car and punch them or, like anything like that. But, you get angry. But if the thought of actually deliberately hurting somebody, no matter how angry you are, but certainly not when they've not even done anything to you, it's quite strange, isn't it? It's when you think of him as an ex-officer in the British Army. So you imagine what sort of things did he do when he's in the army? Because I really do think that a lot of people that join the services, it's because they have dark thoughts and they want to kill people and hurt people. A lot of people do join the services for that reason. Maybe he did. What bad thing? People always think that whatever country you're from, people always think it's all the other armies that are bad and they do bad things like RAPE or stuff like that. But British soldiers do it too. Or there's bad, good. It's like anything else. Good and bad in everyone. Good police, bad police. Good soldiers, bad soldiers. You get soldiers who wouldn't dream of doing any, harming civilians, and they join the army just so that they can do that. So just because he was an officer in the British Army doesn't mean he's a good chap, does it? But obviously, clearly, he isn't. So, yeah, millionaire banker and ties to the royal family. Yeah, it looks like he's got a coffee in his hand, I suppose. Could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? Could have been a lot worse. So we've got we've got to see, I say he's not been actually charged. We have to remember that. Now, I just wanted to show you this video. So I was sort of trying to get some information about it this morning. So I did a YouTube search, for the Putney Pusher, see what videos came up. And this video came up. Talk TV. Does anybody actually watch that crap? Oh my God, what this awful man, presenter on there. I have seen him before. He's awful, in my opinion. He again didn't really mention the bus driver or show a picture of him or anything. It doesn't fit the agenda of Talk TV, did it? I mean, Talk TV, isn't that the one that Nigel Farage speaks on, presents on? I mean, they're just awful. I can't believe anybody watches it. I did notice it didn't have that many views. For Talk TV would probably like to describe themselves as mainstream media, and normally on YouTube channels, not little YouTube channels like mine, but YouTube channels of mainstream media normally get quite a lot of views. This didn't have loads of views, so it had a couple of thousand, but it wasn't that many when you think there's supposed to be a mainstream news channel. Anyway, I came up on this video. I just want to show it you because this guy, who watches this crap? Seriously. If you know, got sensible, which he didn't. But make sure it's sharing. I'd be scared of him, I think, because the things he says, he's very protective of the guy. You notice this through this video. He's sort of almost blaming the woman because it's like saying, oh, well, maybe Dad had an argument with his wife or maybe this, and he's ruined his life, hasn't he? Why would he do that? Well, he didn't do much for her life or the bus driver's life either. But I think he's very concerned about the actual pusher Very strange guy. I think he would likely do something like this. He even says himself he might do that sort of thing himself. But in this Kevin O'Sullivan, what a twonk he is.
Went global because nobody could work out what it was all about. 9 years ago, on a nice sunny morning in London, a jogger jogging across, jogging away before work.
Sorry, it's going to buffer because it does it. This doesn't like it when I play videos, does it? This computer bloody thing. It's buffering. It's buffering.
And then he does that. It just randomly pushes that woman. I mean, how she didn't die is a miracle. The bus driver's a serious hero. Look at that.
Yeah.
He manages to sort of take that bus away from her, and she only received. He's never been found. 9 years on, a 44-year-old millionaire banker, apparently with connections to royalty, has been arrested. Police say they allege they also found dangerous drugs in his possession. He remains under investigation. Now, is this case, this mystery about to be solved? Let's talk to Dr. David Holmes, psychologist. Hi, David.
Hi.
Now, what I want to ask you is, we don't know the details of that, but it looks pretty much as if that is utterly random. Now, we're told, again, nobody's been charged. We don't know he's the perpetrator, but a 44-year-old millionaire banker, apparently with high connections, known to royalty, has been arrested and is being interviewed with a view to being charged with GBH, grievous bodily harm, for this shocking incident. Now, as I say, we mustn't sort of affect the case in any way, but what I wanted to ask you, David, is what is it? People do this, don't they? Sometimes in the spur of a moment, in a split second, somebody will do something without even thinking about it, sort of random, almost instinctive gesture that could ruin this guy's life, if you see what I mean. What's going on there? I mean, what would you think if we accept that was purely random? Why would he do that?
I think the word you were struggling for was impulsive.
Yes, that's right. I'm not very articulate, David, give me a break.
Just suddenly you react to something or a situation. Something sparks an action.
I swear this Kevin O'Sullivan is drinking as he's on these things. He's just full of cojones, isn't he?
I mean, you could be really lenient and say, oh, maybe he thought he was going to trip and put his hands out. I don't think so.
No.
And you say the guy caught is a banker. We can't assume he's guilty.
No, not at all, no.
But our image of a banker is somebody sitting behind a counter and not really being someone that would be violent or somebody involved in some horrendous misogynistic killing. But in this case, maybe he's not entirely just a banker. He's someone who's quite good at taking money from people. He's ex-army, I believe.
Well, that's it. Just because he's a banker, millionaire banker, doesn't mean he's a nice person, does it? Or that he was an ex-officer, as you're saying, Sarah. There are misogynists in the forces, and that it'd be silly to say they're not. It doesn't mean say all armed forces are, but some of them are. Some of them are not nice people. It's like every walk of life. Like some teachers aren't nice people, as we've seen with Jamie Varley and the Preston case. You can't assume that just someone's got a professional job or got what we think of as a good job, like police or a politician or whatever. Doesn't mean they're a nice person. They're, just like plumbers aren't all nice people or electricians aren't. you know, or bin men, people who work in Tesco. We're all people, and some people are not nice, sadly. Now, if that had happened in Spain, it's a really big thing to gender violence crimes in Spain are big now, you know, like really treated very seriously. And that's because they're trying to make up for all the years under Franco when gender violence just was pushed under the, you know, it was almost legitimate to beat your wife when Franco was the dictator here in Spain. So now it's, you know, they're really trying hard to stamp it out. So this would, if this crime had happened in Spain, it would be treated as a gender violence case, and it would be all the more serious because of it. I don't know if that happens in the UK.
So maybe we're getting the character wrong. Maybe this is somebody who is a little bit pushy, violent in normal life.
If it is him, you know, if it is him.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is we've got to be very careful there. Obviously, we don't know in any way that this man under arrest, 44-year-old billionaire banker, is indeed the culprit. But I'm thinking that maybe he's jogging away. She's slightly in his path or something.
Yeah.
And just, as you say, a kind of almost subconscious reaction, get out of my way, like that. Now, when he did that, whoever it was, there's the chance, if he's caught, if he's ever caught, that moment where he just went, boom, like that, get out of my way, that could ruin his life. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
It almost certainly will ruin his life if he's found guilty, because it was such a heinous crime as we see it. From his point of view, he probably couldn't see the bus. He was pushing someone who was obviously more in his way than the guy before her.
No.
And yeah, maybe he just lost his temper for a second. Get out of my way. I'm fed up of walking into people, not realizing he was pushing.
Like, I think just like Kelly has just said there, you know, you're talking about a millionaire banker, an entitled prat probably, on cocaine and drugs, is because don't forget he's been arrested for drug possession as well. You know, it's a bad mix, isn't it? And he veered that. She was not in his way. He moved towards her to push her, and he didn't push the guy because he's a big guy and he wasn't going to attack a big guy. You know, that's why he did it. He did it because he's a twonk. Makes you wonder, you know, what is he like in his normal life if he can do that? Some stranger walking down the street towards him in public. So if he's got not enough filter that he can do something like that in public on Putney Bridge in broad daylight, what's he doing at home to his partner? You know, he's not going to be better than that, is he? You know,
that's what it is, David. I'm just looking at it. She's walking just off the pavement in the kind of jogging, cycling lane. And he's obviously sort of gone, get out of my way, and done that. And as I say, if this is the guy or whoever it is, if they ever get caught, this moment, this subconscious moment, just get out of my way, is going to ruin his life.
Yeah, really.
Utterly and completely. There's a big hate campaign against him prior to any knowledge of who he was. So this is somebody who's going to achieve notoriety at least, and I mean, attempt.
Exactly, Heather. He moved. He didn't just carry on running straight, and she was walking right into him. He veered towards her. It's as clear as I mean, the good thing about this case is if it ever comes to court, they've got a bloody video there that shows clearly what happened. So, you know, you can't argue about it. That was a good thing in the Preston Daly case, wasn't it? All the videos that twonk took, you know, they undo that. He didn't know, obviously, that he was on CCTV, but it just shows he's pretty thick, because if you don't know that when you're running across Putney, across London Bridge, you're likely to be on CCTV, if you don't even know that, you're pretty thick, aren't you? CCTV is everywhere in Britain, but especially in public places like that. You know, it's not like a little back street somewhere.
Grievous bodily harm, murder. When you look at the consequences,
I think they're going to try for GBH, but here's the deal. This is the definition, the very definition, I would suggest, of an unpremeditated crime.
No. Do you know how thick this guy is? Because premeditation, you literally, to be considered a premeditated crime, it doesn't mean you've got to plan it for weeks beforehand. You've got to have the intention that in that moment you thought you were deliberately going to do it. It's not an accidental crime where he, bumped into her as he went by. Now, I know somebody who was a Scottish person, actually, a friend of mine was telling me about someone she knew. He got life for murder, for premeditated murder, because before he was in a fight in a bar, which probably lots of people get involved in. And there was this altercation between him and another guy. And because he said, before he punched the other guy, so he punched the guy, didn't mean to kill him. He punched him, but, sometimes punches in the head, they kill people. And the guy died. And because this guy, although really it's clear it was a fight and he did not mean to kill him, but because just before he punched him, he said, "I'm going to kill you," sort of thing that people say without really probably meaning they're actually going to kill someone. He said that before he punched him, and he was heard saying that. He got done for murder and he got life imprisonment. So what this guy's saying, well, he is a prat anyway. What's his name? Kevin O'Sullivan, he is a prat. But he doesn't even know the law. So premeditation, don't have to be planning it 3 weeks beforehand. He did premeditate it because he deliberately moved towards the woman. So that in itself is premeditation. Wasn't an accident. He meant to push her. Might not have meant to kill her, but he meant to push her, and there was always a chance that, she was right next to a road. He might not have known there was a bus coming at that precise moment, but he knew there were cars that he was on a busy road. So, sorry, I think if it ever comes to court, a good prosecution lawyer, if he comes to court, he's going to get the book thrown at him, because there's the video of it, there's the clear intention. And as you say, Heather, he's probably a woman hater. He probably, there's some reason why he's picked on her particularly. And has he done anything since or even before? And what did he do when he was a British Army officer? Was he in Bosnia and places like that where he could do horrible things to women that would have just got hidden?
This could be. We don't know. I mean,
maybe he knows
that. It could turn out that he's
his wife.
Of the women.
He's never liked her.
I don't think he recognised her, but he might have.
I don't think so, David. I'm being facetious.
No, because I think she would have recognised him, or at least in subsequent times, discovered who he was or had some connection. But I don't think that's the case. I think she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. However, his act of aggression is something that could have just pushed somebody off the Eiffel Tower. It's not. It's not a simple, act of shouting at her or just slapping her arm or anything. This was an attempt to actually injure the person at least, and had to be. I think should be dealt extremely harshly. And I would actually gamble on saying that he has some kind of record of of
a sort of a violent character. Well, it'd be very interesting, won't it, if it does turn out to be this millionaire banker or whoever it turns out to be. Fascinating for someone like yourself to look into his background and see what would lead to that. I used to do quite a lot of jogging myself before my body gave up, and I know what it is. Quite annoying when somebody steps out in front of you, but I like to think that I wouldn't go like.
Yes, quite annoying when someone steps out in front of you. Well, do you know what? You don't own the road just because you're a jogger or a pedestrian or a cyclist or a driver. Nobody owns the road. We have to share the road. You know, it's like, I've noticed with joggers, like cyclists, they don't like stopping, do they? So they're in their jog and they're probably in their zone, aren't they? And I used to jog many, many years ago, probably in my 30s. I never liked it, really. I don't understand the attraction of jogging. But people do love it, don't they? And they get lost in the zone. So if someone then, but she wasn't, the thing that I'm trying to say is she was not in his way. He had to move out of the way to push her. He could have jogged past her. There was loads of room. She was not in his way. I understand if someone steps out deliberately in front of you as you're just about to jog past, it must be irritating. But she was not in his way, was she?
Like that. But
Well,
yeah.
I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I don't
many
know
times,
I wouldn't. I'm just going to hope that I wouldn't.
I don't know I wouldn't. I'm just going to hope that I wouldn't. Well, I know I wouldn't. There's no, I'm not saying that I might not shout at someone, but I know for a fact I would not push him over into the road. 100%. He doesn't know that. See, he does. He's such a tosser, this Kevin O'Sullivan. As I said, I just found this video by accident because I put into YouTube, Putney Pusher, and this came up, and I watched it. I thought, oh my God, Jesus. But anyway, but yeah, Sarah, you're right. In Leeds, there is a lot of domestic violence, and here in Spain, this is a recent thing. So there was terrible domestic violence in Spain. In fact, under Franco, it was just really accepted. It was almost, there's no, women had nowhere to go. You couldn't go to the police because they were all domestic abusers themselves. It was, anyway, fortunately, Spain has moved on since then. And now it's, as in typical Spanish fashion, now it's almost like, really sort of, how can I explain it? It's gone from one extreme to another, really. So it's almost as if, so the woman would always be believed now, which, the women don't always tell the truth, sadly. That's a shame as well. I always think there's only one thing worse than a stalker, is some woman who claims to be stalked when she's not really, because people who make false claims just make it bad for genuine victims, don't they? But anyway, but there is still domestic violence in Spain. It's just that it is dealt with so much more harshly now than it used to be. And women do have, they can go to the police and get instant action, and they can be protected and all that. Whereas it's not that long ago where they didn't get any protection. So, it's good. But yeah, there are lots of places in the UK, just like everywhere else, domestic violence. Not only men against women, is it? Because there's domestic violence, women against men as well. We've covered a couple of cases. Probably need to cover more cases of the other way around, because women are capable of bad things as well, of course. It's just not as often, but it doesn't mean to say it doesn't happen. But yeah, I think this guy was definitely, he picked on her because she was a woman. 100%. 100%. No, she didn't die, Sean, because the bus driver took very quick action and moved out of the way. I think it will show it. Well, we'll just watch this to the end and then you'll see the video.
David, excellent to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. That's Dr. David Holmes, psychologist.
Let's go back a bit.
Year-old millionaire banker, apparently with high connections, known to royalty, has been arrested. and is being interviewed.
So did you see this, Sean? You obviously haven't heard of this case. It's quite a famous case, to be
Connections known to royalty, has been arrested and is being interviewed with a view.
The bus driver, who's called Oliver, he just literally, it's a good job he saw her, even, because he could have been just looking the other way or whatever. He's on a bus lane. He hasn't got any reason to think there'll be anything in that bus lane. The bus lane's as clear, apart from her, suddenly that woman falling in front of his bus. The bus lane is perfectly clear. There's no reason for him to be, worried that there's going to be anything in the bus lane. And he just, luckily, his reactions, he pushes the woman over.
Shocking incident. Now,
every time I watch that, it gives me a start, even though I know that she's okay, because her head goes so close to those bus wheels. And if that bus driver wouldn't have just had those quick reactions and moved out of the way, that bus would literally have gone over her head, and that she wouldn't have survived that, would she? Surely she wouldn't have. She couldn't have survived it. Or if she did survive, it would be with bad brain injuries, wouldn't it? So yeah, terrible. Anyway, so he's been arrested. So basically, the news is he was arrested. This 44-year-old millionaire banker, ex-British Army officer with connections to the royal family, after 9 years, has been arrested twice, but he has not been charged yet. He's out on bail pending further investigation. So he was arrested for that crime, for GBH, and he's also been arrested for possession of Class A and B drugs, like it was. Let's hope it leads to a final. So this is 9 years. So also it's nice, isn't it, to know that police don't give up on things. This is 9 years, this investigation. 9 years. So that woman who was pushed into the bus, although she was okay, she just had minor injuries. I expect she's never walked on London Bridge again, with that same confidence or whatever. Imagine the trauma that would put you through if someone had done that to you and you'd come that close to your head going underneath the wheels of a bus. The trauma, the PTSD, you'd be terrified, wouldn't you? I know how I just felt last week when that guy opened my car door and started sort of going on at me. I was terrified. But imagine, and I've been nervous every time I've gone to pick up my son since then. I've been really nervous. But imagine something like that happened to you, the effect it would have on your life, the effect it would have on the bus driver, the effect it would have on the passengers on the bus that saw it happen. These crimes, all the crimes that we cover, whatever they are, they have ripples that go out so far. It's not just the victim. Look at little Preston. So obviously Preston is the victim in that case, and sadly Preston lost his life. But look at the effect it'll have had on the jury, or the effect that it'll have had on the judge, the effect it'll have had on even the forensic scientists that have had to report on, do his autopsy, the people, his family, his mum, his grandma, the foster parents, even, the horrible twonks, their family, all these people affected by the actions. When these twonks do something terrible, whatever it is, from that where luckily, that woman didn't die. but to actual murders like Preston, etc. They're not all the people that they affect. I think that should all be taken. I mean, it is sort of taken into account, isn't it? Well, certainly in America, they have the victim impact statements, don't they? Do we have those in the UK or Spain? I don't think you do in Spain, or maybe you do. Do the families and the friends and everybody get a chance to speak about the impact it's had on them? Does that happen in the UK? Let me just find out. Because, of course, so tomorrow's going to be all about Preston. It's going to be all about the sentencing of Preston's killers. Let's see. Does the UK have victim impact statements? I think they do in Australia, don't they? I'm sure we saw. Didn't we see victim impact statements in the Erin Patterson case? Yes, the UK has a victim impact statement, known formally as victim personal statement. It allows victims to explain in their own words how a crime has affected them physically, emotionally, psychologically, or financially. And it is taken into account by the judge when determining a sentence. Oops, I think somebody's bought me a coffee. Not all that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, someone. I'll look on Kofi and see. Didn't come up with a name. Sometimes it just says someone, but when I have to go into the actual Kofi page to find out who it is. Oh, Sean, thank you so much. You're very generous. You're a very kind supporter of my channel. Thank you. Thank you, Sean, for the Kofi. It's much appreciated. Oh, you sent one yesterday through my Spanish channel. Oh, I don't get notifications. I've got to sort that out because that's coffee. Oh, it's oh, sorry, Sean. I didn't see that. I'll look for that. So on my Spanish channel, which is now True Crime Chats, that's not Kofi, that's coffee doggone. And I don't notification. I don't know why. I've got to look at that and see why the notification doesn't come through. So I'll go in and sort that out. But thank you so much. You know, this. Oh, I don't know if anybody noticed yesterday. If anybody was watching my channel in the morning, guess who turned up on my channel yesterday? Nightbot popped up and had a go at Admit Audacity because she used 4 heart emojis, and apparently you're only allowed to use 3. And so after being silent for ages, Nightbot just came on and threatened to throw Admit Audacity off the channel. I just don't understand technology sometimes. I mean, even on the other channel, it should come up when it's a coffee, but it's coffee, not Kofi. Maybe I need to amalgamate them a bit. I think I do, really, because otherwise it's too much. Kelly, you've never experienced Nightbot. Oh, it is quite funny. I say he, it might be a woman. I don't know where. It's a bot anyway. Yeah, Admit Audacity was in the live and she put 4 heart emojis, and Nightbot had a meltdown and said, "Oh, Admit Audacity, Admit Audacity is, I don't know, spamming or something." Yeah, Lily, Nightbot is a twonk. Well, your emojis have disappeared, Sean. That's happened to Kelly as well. I know, yeah, we do loads of Pinocchios, don't we? But do you know who understands? But apparently you're not allowed to put 4 hearts. So Kelly has lost her emojis as well. But I think everybody else has got their emojis. Honestly, I wish I could explain it. I just don't know. I literally don't know why you can't get your emojis. Now, you're both in Australia, whether that's got anything to do with it. Why should that have anything to do with it? Oh, Moonbeam. Hello, Moonbeam. Thank you for being a member for 22 months. Oh, my God. Thank you so much for being a member for all that time. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So, only basic emojis are available. How odd. How odd. Now, you are both. Yeah, go on. Kelly, put 4 hearts, but it's not the hearts, the normal hearts and the normal YouTube emojis. Go on, try it. They didn't kick her off. They just warned her. Yeah, I don't know where the time goes, Moonbeam, but I appreciate that. Hey, listen, I've had relationships that haven't lasted that long. That's fantastic. Well, there, Kelly's put 4 hearts in. Let's see if maybe Nightbot just didn't like Admit Audacity. I don't know, because nothing's coming up yet. Oh, do you think it couldn't be to do with no, can't be to do with the internet restrictions now in Australia. Do you think it's to do with that? You're scared of being told off. Yeah, Lily's put 4 hearts. Look, nothing's come up from Nightbot. So why it came up yesterday, I have no idea. God, if somebody could explain this technology to me, because I have no idea. So we've got Admit Audacity being told off by Nightbot yesterday. First time Nightbot's even popped up for ages. Then we've got Kelly and Sean, who are in Australia, can't use the members' emojis. How weird. Do you know, I think it's to do with the social media ban. I wonder if it's to do with the social media ban, but it's only supposed to be under 16s, isn't it? Very odd. Right, I'm going to put on my, let's see, because I can go on my channel from one of my other channels. Can I? And because nothing's up against you. And nothing's coming up against from Nightbot. Is it? Very weird. I wish they'd stop bloody messing with all these things. Let me try if I put 4 hearts on another channel that I've got. Yeah, it came up against Admit Audacity. Oh, I can't find my hearts on there now. Can't do it. You can't do it when you want to do it. And Admit herself said, oh, I think you're only allowed to put 3. Let's try doing 4 of them. What's coming up there? Look, so I've put those 4 hearts up. No. Oh, see, I'm coming up as a moderator. I'm coming up as a moderator. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a moderator. It's my bloody channel. I don't know. I literally just don't know. But I'm going to look at that coffee thing on and see if on my other thing and see if I can link it up with Ko-fi rather than coffee. I don't know. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to investigate that in a moment, Sean. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that didn't come up, but I wasn't ignoring. Well, as long as you know, I wasn't ignoring you. That's. I always appreciate every payment anyone puts through, donation or whatever you want to call it. I always acknowledge them. When people put them through, you know, in between actual videos, I acknowledge them on my posts or on my Twitter or everywhere, because it's very important to be grateful. So yeah, I hadn't even seen that, but I'm going to look for it now and see if I can do anything about that. But, strange, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it'll have gone through, but I just won't have had a notification, and it'll have gone through to a different PayPal account. So I'll go in and look at it. But I need to look at that and change it. And look, Nightbot is absent. Maybe Nightbot's asleep. Do you think? Maybe Nightbot didn't feel like joining in the chat today. But so weird how he just popped up yesterday out of nowhere after months that we've had nothing from Nightbot. He used to always have something to say. He's tried to throw Heather off once. He tried to throw David. He didn't like a comment David made once. There's loads of times Nightbot was coming up and out. And then we hadn't heard from him for ages. And then suddenly popped up and had to go at admit audacity. But he's obviously having a lie-in today. And yeah, and as far as the members emojis are concerned, you know what I would do if I were you is contact YouTube. You can contact YouTube and say to them, look, can't get my members emojis up. I wonder if I can get anything up here. Right, members emojis not coming up on YouTube. Is this on your phones? It says why your emojis are missing and how to fix them. Oh, it's not mine. Members emojis. I need to change that because it's thinking it's my members emojis, like for my channel. Members emojis not coming up for my members. I think it might be to do with the social media ban, because there'll be glitches now that that's first come in. That it'll probably get sorted as time goes on. Right, says here this is AI, okay? Emojis primarily because of widespread recent glitches affecting mobile chat, regional access restrictions, or device-specific keyboard settings. So it tells you need to refresh your app, and there's how to fix missing emojis on Android, it says here. So yeah, if you Google it, there might be a here on it issue. Ensure you're using the latest of the YouTube app. Tell your viewers they can bypass the mobile app glitch by logging in via a desktop browser. So it seems to be only a problem with phones, or you can switch your mobile browser to desktop view. And it says, due to Australian internet regulations, YouTube implemented an age verification system. So I think because you said, Kelly, you've not been asked for your age. I think they're catching up, like how to do it, because you should be asked your age, shouldn't you, to go on YouTube? Even if social media has been restricted, you should at least be being asked your age. It says if you're under 16, you may have been signed out of your account, but obviously you're not under 16. But maybe that you've been signed out of your account. I don't know. But it's a glitch. Yeah, it's reporting a glitch in Australia. So it's because of your location. Oh, there you go, Kelly. Sean's saying he deleted the app and reloaded, and they're back. Oh, look, he's put a bless you on it. Yeah, there you go. So you might need to do that, Kelly. Delete the app and reload. Hey, movie. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah. I did show your membership thing. Thank you for all that. Yeah, try it, Kelly, because, there'll be a fix. Yeah, somehow. Well, it looks like if you're in the UK, that might be happening as well soon, because, of course, Keir Starmer now has announced social media bans on under 16s. I personally think it's a good thing. I do. Children under 16, the things that you can have access to on social media so easily, it's just not right. I don't know what the answer is. People say, oh, look, Kelly's back. Yay. I don't know what the answer is, but of course it's happening in Spain. It's going to happen everywhere. And, I think it's good, personally. And if it pisses Elon Musk off, it's even better. But, when you look at life today, young people, they've got instant connections, haven't they? But they're not happier, are they? They're more miserable. And when they get bullied, children will always get bullied. I just think there'll always be bullies at school. But when I was young, you would get bullied at school. But at least when you got home, that was the end of it. You're home. But now you'd be at home and you get a message through on your phone. So even in the peace and sanctity that should be peace and sanctity of your home, of course, it isn't always for people, but you're then getting messages through your phone or going on your social media, and you're getting bullied 24/7, not just even at school. At least at school you get the 6 weeks holidays, you get the half terms, and there's some time when you're not getting bullied. But nowadays, no, and it's all this attention to appearance, and there's all these suicide videos, like how to kill yourself, how eating disorders, so I don't care what anyone says, social media has got good value, and there's good things, helps with lots of things. I'm not critical of it completely, of course not. I'm a YouTuber, for God's sake. But I don't think it's made teenagers happier, has it? Hasn't improved the life of teenagers. How has it improved their life? It's made them more isolated. They don't go out so much. Everything's on social media. Everything's all appearance. They can just get access to porn. They can get access to terrible things, immediate access. So something needed to be done. So I think start with a complete social media ban for under 16s. Personally, I think it's a good thing. And also, it takes the arguments away as in the home, because if you're a parent trying to control what your children are looking at, especially as they get to 13, 14, it's hard. But now they compare, it's just, oh, it's not me, it's government. Just like it takes that conflict away between the parents and the children. And then, sometimes I wish they'd ban it for over 60s because it is depressing. If I couldn't go on Twitter and do the doom scrolling, maybe that would be good for my mental health, It's not. So personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a brilliant thing. And I think as time goes on, it's something needed to be done. You literally, like, you can go on, like say you went on a porn site or whatever, not that I know, of course, but seriously, you go on it and it would say, are you over 18? You're not going to say no, it doesn't proof. That's for proof of you being over 18, want to do live. That's the only thing social media wise that I have ever done where anyone has actually made me prove how old I was. There are quite a few sites that will say, are you over 18 or are you over 16 or whatever? But you just say, yeah, well, no one's going to say, oh, I'm not, are they? If they really want to go into that site. So, yeah. Yeah, I think social media has provided a lot of good things. Of course it has. And it can bring people together. It has brought us together. But, when I was young, you had to go out. So I had anxiety. I used to have panic attacks like you won't believe. But if I didn't go out, I would never get to meet my friends. So I had to go out. Everybody gets anxious. People get panic attacks. But if you're not teaching people to deal with them, you have to deal with it. You have to. Sorry, it's just a sad fact of life. You can't just, you've got to be careful of wallowing in anxiety and mental health issues and things. Sometimes the only answer is to get out there and face them. That's my personal opinion. So I don't think it's made young people happier. I don't think it's made mental health issues worse, not better, more common, not less common. We are. I feel like we've gone from one extreme to another because when I was young, you never talked about your mental health or panic attacks or whatever. Nobody ever discussed them. We all had them, but we didn't talk about them. And that wasn't good either. But now, talk about it so much, it's like, oh, for God's sake, just get on with it. And sometimes I do get frustrated about it like that. It was Ricky Gervais said, now I hope I'm not going to offend anybody, but what Ricky Gervais is like. But I was watching something on one of his shows and he was saying, or something he put on Twitter or whatever, when he was young, he's a similar age to me. When he was at school, nobody would admit they had any mental health issues. It's like nobody wanted to be mental. He said mental. That's his words, not mine. Nobody, but now he said it's like, oh yeah, I'm mental. Oh yeah, I'm mental. Oh, I've got anxiety. I've got this. I've got that. It's gone from one extreme to another. Can't we be somewhere in the middle where it's good that people feel that they can talk about their anxiety issues, their panic attacks and things like that. It's good, of course it is. But you've got to be careful not to wallow in it too much because you've still got to get on with life. Another thing it sort of reminds me of, I don't know if you ever watched the Friends episode where Bruce Willis was in it and he was seeing Rachel. And she was moaning at him, saying, oh, you never talk about your feelings. You never talk your feelings. Come on, let's talk about your feelings. You never talk about your childhood. And so he started talking about his childhood and his feelings. And then he just burst into tears and she couldn't shut him up. And she was like trying to shut him up. Then it's like, let's not talk about your feelings. But it's true, sometimes your feelings are important. Of course they are. But you can't wallow in it. You have to carry on living. You just have to, really. Or what's the alternative? If you wallow in it too much. Also, I think there's too much reliance on drugs. Medical drugs. Putting people on medications. You're thinking, what? Even young teenagers. Remember with the Madeline, God, I've forgotten her surname, Madeline Soto case, and Stefan Stearns and Jen and Madeline, all on God knows what tablets and that. Everybody's on tablets. You know, I know tablets can help in some things people need tablets for, but you know what, you can rely on them too much. Life is difficult and you have to cope with the realities of life. Anyway, you do. You have to get on with life, and what it throws things at you. Yeah, all of us. There's nobody escapes problems in life. Nobody, and even people that you look at and you think, oh, they're coping okay with life. You don't know what they're feeling inside. They're just getting up and putting a face on. Another good lesson, I think, Barbara Windsor. Lovely Barbara Windsor from the Carry On films, from EastEnders. And she said, if you get up and you don't, you know, you don't feel like going out because, you know, whatever's going on, or you've got having panic attacks, or you're miserable, or your mental health's not good, don't go out. Wallow that day, you know. Don't go out. But then you do it and then go out this time. I don't know explaining it well, but what I'm saying is, it's okay to wallow in it sometimes, but don't let it take over your life. You know, just some days you do want to just put the duvet over your head and think, oh, I can't face this today. That's okay too. But you have to eventually get through that. A lot of people, of course, they cope with alcohol or drugs or whatever. Sometimes those are the things that help them out. At the moment, for me, it's my vape. You know, so I do love about Richard facing things and get away with it. Yeah, in our day we go out and get off with lads, dearie. Yeah, Sean. Some people are suing social media platforms, and so they should. You've got bloody stupid Elon Musk out there stirring up hatred. You know, just he should be banned off his own platform. I tried to report someone the other day. What they've done on Twitter, I don't know if they tweeted to me. They said something revolting, and I reported it. And then you just get a thing back straight away. Oh no, this is a violation. Well, what are your bloody policies? So you can go on there and call people terrible names or say horrible, violent, insightful things, and they don't take any action against it. So anyway, it's good. So I'm glad Keir Starmer's doing it, and I think all European countries, and well, Australia did it first. They'll all do it, and I think they should do it. I think exactly they should, and then look at it as they go along. Maybe they'll tweak it as time goes on. It will cause problems from the beginning. But there was a girl went viral just recently, wasn't there? A young girl, because they said to her, what will you do when social media is banned? And she said, oh, look at the wall, stare at the wall. Well, why? You know, people seem to think that was really funny. I didn't think it was funny. I thought, well, is that her only alternative, to sit there scrolling down her phone, is to stare at the wall? Why don't she go to the gym, or, you know, go and talk to her parents, or even go and watch a bit of telly, or go and do an aerobics class? What a stupid thing to say. Sorry, I didn't find that funny. I just thought, if your only alternative to being on social media as a young girl like her, who's got all the energy and everything, is to say, oh, stare at the wall, well, that's the exact reason why social media needs to be banned. Because is that all your options are? Social media or stare at the wall? How ridiculous. You know, go and read a book. Go and listen to a podcast. Go and listen to Vicky Marie chats. Oh, you can't, because you can't go on social media. But, you know, there's a million things that you can do. Million things. You know, go and talk to your friends. Go and meet up with your friends in a coffee shop. Talk to them in person. For God's sake. What a ridiculous thing to say. And of course, there's all these social media. God, we've ended up talking about social media. You know, these horrible, you know, telling you how to take your own life. Young people. So there's a lot of parents, aren't there, out there that have campaigned for this, who've lost their children, you know, to the big S, because their children have gone onto these sites that have told them how to kill themselves. Christ's sake. Sorry, I don't mean to take the Lord's name in vain. But, you know, God, oh my God. The people, you know, these young people, they're Googling how to kill yourself and getting answers. You know, people are advising them how the best way to do it. Ridiculous. Sorry, just taking my vitamins there to remind me to take it. So, yeah. 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 Yeah, this is it. People are saying. A young man in Leeds was just sentenced to 6 years for telling someone in the USA to do it on a video call on Discord. There's a very famous case in the USA of a young lad who did it, and he was doing it in his car, you know, with carbon monoxide, and his girlfriend was egging him on. And at one point, he actually got out of his car, and his girlfriend told him to get back in the car and do it, and he did. Got back in the car and he killed himself. His parents, can imagine, going mad. Anyway, maybe I'll look at that case at some point. Tomorrow. So, tomorrow, Sean, tomorrow on my channel, it will be All Things Preston. I'm going to show the videos from the vigil. Today, I'm not talking about Preston. It's almost like I feel, it's like it was his birthday and I did the thing yesterday, and I'm not going to talk about the details of his case anymore. I don't want to hear all those gruesome details again, because it's so upsetting, and it feels like it's sort of almost disrespectful to Preston. Tomorrow will be the sentencing. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping for big, long sentences. In fact, who is the judge? Because I'm going to look at who's the judge. No, that poor judge has had to sit through it all. So it's Mr. Justice. Some judges are stricter than others, aren't they? I mean, they have to operate within whatever the law allows them. But is he going to give the biggest sentence? Is he one of those people that would give a big sentence? Justice Turner. So let's have a look at his Wikipedia. So he was born in 1959 on the 29th of August. So I think he's a Leo then. He'll be a Leo or a Virgo. He's a British judge at the High Court of England and Wales. Let's see what it says. Has he done any other famous cases? No, it doesn't. Doesn't say. Doesn't talk about any other cases he's done. The Honourable Mr. Justice Turner. See, yeah. Don't know what other cases he's done. I'll show you photos of him. I hope he's one of those strict. I hope he's one of those strict judges. Oh God, it'd be nice to get a really, really busy. What's the word? Strict. I hope we get a very strict verdict. I'm hoping to be. I have got some classes in the morning, but they should be over with because, of course, the UK is an hour behind. So I am hoping that I'll be able to actually cover it live and that it'll be. Thank you. So he's a Virgo. He's a Virgo. Good. Well, it'll be very precise, I hope. So this is him. Let me just make sure it's sharing. And I hope we actually get to see it live. I hope it's going to be televised. Nominal panel. There he is. Hope he's a strict one. I hope he throws the book at those two. Don't you? I'm hoping for a 30-year sentence at least for Varley. I think John GF's will be about 20 maximum. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, then. Okay, so that's it. So I started off talking about the pusher, ended up talking about all sorts of things. Social media ban, the sentencing tomorrow. I say I will be editing this and putting that all on. Putting it all up as a video without the guff. For those of people who don't like the waffle, etc., I will condense this into a smaller video. But listen, thank you so much. Thank you for the Ko-fis. Thank you, Moonbeam, for being a member for 22 months. Thank you so much. Very good. Thank you. And thank you, Sean, for the Ko-fi, which doesn't seem to be coming up on here for some reason. I have to go back and find it. I like to put it up. Why does internet never do what you want it to do, does it? Never does what you want it to do. Yeah, thank you for the Ko-fi, Sean. Thank you so much. But thank you all for watching, for caring about all the cases that I talk about, and especially tomorrow when we're going to be doing sentencing for the vile Varley and Bruce GF, the two sons, the unholy alliance. Can't wait to put them in the hellhole. Because after tomorrow, when we have the sentence, I won't be mentioning their names again, that's for sure. But we'll never forget, of course, about Preston. Right, I'm off. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Oh, Sean's a Virgo as well. A happy Virgo. Yeah, a cup of cha. Yeah, I think I might have a coffee. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's nearly time for lunch anyway, so I'll see you really soon in the next video, which will probably be tomorrow for the sentencing. You never know, might pop up before then. Depends what happens, doesn't it? Thank you so much, and until I see you all again, don't forget to leave your DNA on the subscribe button, the like button, the notifications button. I'm glad, Sean, you and Kelly have got your emojis sorted out. I'm going to investigate that, Kofi, on the other channel. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Thank you.